wanna laugh, you wanna cry, you cross your heart.
So, good afternoon. That's an intimate crowd today, but welcome to Sweat Fest. I hope the sweating is good so far today. Yeah, I see thumbs up. Great. So, let's get through this 15 minutes. I'm going to pitch you an idea about media, video being safe, scalable, and simple. And then we can get out and drink a beer, right? That's the plan. So why are these three words important when buying media? Well, for sure, you don't want to be one of those guys or ladies that is investing about 100 billion a year into low-performing, made-for-ads video inventory that is not working for you or your clients or your media campaigns. So you should be investing into quality premium media, but what is quality and premium media? Any ideas? Well, let's ask the viewers, right? The viewer would tell you that a premium quality environment is made out of two factors: the content as well as the platform the content is being watched. From the buying perspective, I would argue that there are four dimensions that you should have a look at when buying video inventory, when buying video media in Europe. It should provide reach. That's a fact, with real human beings. It should provide impact, affinity, and brand safety. So let's get into that quickly. Reach is obviously the first step to any communication campaign. If you don't reach people, your campaign can be as good as anything, but nobody will see it. But not all reach is equal, right? And you have to pay attention to where you get what kind of reach. So if we look at YouTube as a general, for example, it's massive in terms of reach, right? But if you look a little bit more under the hood, you discover that the median video on YouTube gets about 41 views, and the duration is about 65 seconds. Whereas in Europe, if you want to gain reach instantly, you get about 180 million people watching peak good old linear television. So looking at reach is really about what kind of reach you want. And this is where we believe linear will play a crucial role, and a continued crucial role in Europe. That's why we gathered the most premium and most reach-bringing broadcasters across Europe in our portfolio, because that type of reach is something that is here to stay in Europe for a couple of more years. But all reach is nothing without impact. If you don't create impact with people you reach, you might as well throw your money out of the garbage or into the garbage, right? So if you look at it, premium quality environments provide throughout the funnel better performances. Whether it's recognition, whether it's recall, whether it's consideration, anything you look at inside the marketing funnel is being boosted by impactful quality media. And that's why our answer to it is, we try to aggregate the quality and premium video inventory across any type of signal, whether it's linear, non-linear, whether it's HbbTV or pure online. Creating that impact has a little step before, which is what people in my age group, 40 plus, used to call affinity, right? Which is now called targeting. So all the reach you can get is great. It needs to provide impact. In order to do that, you need some kind of targeted message. You need some kind of relation to the people that you're reaching. And actually, that's what people want in Europe. If you ask the consumers, 66% of them say they are in favor of getting targeted ads that fit their situation. For example, an ad for something to wipe off my sweat at this point. And which medium is best suited to target the user in its, let's say, habitat? Well, it's the big screen, right? So if you look at it, CTV today is really offering multiple ways of creating that impact and that affinity to users. And whether it's pure streaming platforms or HBB, TV, linear edit, digital edit signals, it's all about creating that closeness, that proximity to the user and getting the right message in front of the right user. That's why we created a targeting layer across all of Europe that provides the best of the data points of linear and non-linear in order to reach exactly that target audience that you want to reach at the moment you want to reach it in the living room where the big screen is still king. Now, we talked about reach, we talked about impact, we talked about that you need to have a targeted message, but you still need to think about brand safety. If you're advertising online, if you're advertising video, then you need to ask yourself the question, am I running in an environment that I would consider brand safe, right? And again, if you ask the user, if you ask the viewers, they will tell you very upfront which environments they consider to be brand safe and which not. So in our living room study, which we issue every year, we asked users which type of media, which type of platform is considered to be trustworthy. And when you look at the European figures, which are in the back, what you can clearly see is that what we call linear old world media is performing the highest when it comes to trustworthiness. And the lowest is obviously platforms like TikTok that provide a huge variety of content, but that is not filtered, not curated, not being vetted for its quality. And that's why when you advertise on platforms, think about what is your advertising actually financing. And you need that trustworthy quality environment in order to also tap into the trust of the consumers. And that's what we're trying to do with the RTL AdAlliance portfolio to create that environment for your brand. So let's have a look at that.
In a world overwhelmed by voices,
deeply inhumane.
the truth gets harder to find.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Who do you trust as a brand? Real journalism cuts through the noise. RTL AdAlliance unites iconic media brands. The right place for a brand-safe media environment. Our DNA is storytelling. Stories that matter. A safeguard for democracy. Brands shape the world they advertise in. Support verified media. Choose impact that matters. Choose verified media. Trusted by people, supported by brands.
I think we talk a lot in our industry about doing good and having an impact on the wider society and not just on our consumers. And I think that European media is something that we all have to have as a part of our media mix, because otherwise, where does the trustworthy and vetted information comes from? Now, the final question is obviously, how can you tap into all of that? How can you tap into all of that great video inventory in a simple and scalable way. And guess what? We have an answer for that. It's called RTL Ad Manager, right? And I'm going to show it to you in a second. But the idea is really that when you look at Europe, it's not one country. We all know that. You guys here in the UK just opted out of Europe, but you're still part of the play. In contrary to the US, this is 27 countries, multiple languages, multiple cultures. And we believe that you need to aggregate that in a place that gives you the ability to tap into that in a safe, simple, and scalable way. The RTL Ad Manager. So if you think it's hot down there, try go up here. It's sauna fest for sure. Thank you very much. So if you're interested to talk about European media and what that means, please reach out. Otherwise, have a good rest of the day. Thank you very much.
You fall in love, simple, the sky up above, simple is caving in. Wow!
And thanks so much. Before you go off stage, just got one question for you, and that's, I guess,
You didn't bring a towel.
Oh, no, I invented what the sweat thing for it. But everything you put up there, I believe in and know to be true. But we're still seeing that media planners and buyers aren't buying enough premium media. They're still going the safe route. So what can the industry do to educate the planner buying audience of the value? All these things you presented, I guess there's still a big job to be done to get media planners and buyers maybe off the crack of easy online buys. So what needs to be done, do you think, at a wider level to...
I think our industry for the last 10 years had a fetish with execution. We're optimizing the buying path, we're optimizing the platforms, the DSPs, the value chain, we're optimizing all of that and neglecting the fact, what is advertising about? It's about changing human behavior, right? So that you grab the Coke instead of the Pepsi. And I think the industry, as we were fixated so much on execution, neglected the fact that the job is still the same. And in order to do that job, you need the right environment, you need to understand how human beings work and function, and how you can influence and impact their behavior. That's why we believe those 4 dimensions, the reach, the affinity, the impact, and the brand safety, they need to come together. And at the end of the day, we believe it comes together in Europe through a combination of the linear signal and the non-linear signal, and not one size fits all, and one low CPM fits all.
Amazing. And last question, what have you seen in terms of some of the pan-European campaigns that work best and why? I've talked to a few marketers on stage here today about what campaigns sort of resonate in international markets and how they ensure that their great work in one country translates to another. So what have you seen that makes a great pan-European campaign across?
Well, first of all, I think you have to have a sound media strategy. You have to understand which medium is useful for what, right? So then you need to have a tailored message to the European audiences. Again, not one size fits all. If you're advertising for a French audience, it's a different than a German audience, right? You need to take that cultural moment into consideration. So most successful campaigns have both. They have a great media strategy, they know how to build up and how to invest into the right media. And on the other hand, they have the tailored messages for the cultural background that is being advertised at.
Amazing. Dan, thank you again so much.
Thank you very much.